Hello, friends. How are you? It's Raquel from Our Infinite Nature here with your energy forecast for the Pisces new moon, which we have coming on Sunday, March 10th at 2 a.m. Pacific time. So, if you've been feeling kind of dreamy, kind of imaginative, but also kind of inspired and like ready to make some changes, take aligned action, congratulations. You are definitely feeling the energies of this Pisces new moon. And when I felt intuitively into the energy of this new moon, the theme that came up for me was holding your higher vision. And it's almost like pairing that beautiful, imaginative, dreamy energy of Pisces with this kind of I can do it, make it happen, like Virgo energy as well. But it's really kind of like being able to kind of pair this magical Piscean watery energy with our ability to take that into the physical and make things happen, to actually create manifestations in our life. And this is a powerful new moon for manifestations. And I'm going to tell you more about that. So, okay. With the Pisces new moon, while we do have this really supportive energy of envisioning the life of our dreams, there is also going to be an emotional component to this new moon as well because it's Pisces. Pisces is the mutable water sign. Water signs are always going to heighten emotions because water is the element that corresponds with emotions. Now, water being the element that corresponds with emotions, it's also the element that corresponds with our intuition. So whenever we are very deep into watery energies, typically we're going to also feel enhancement in our intuition as well if we pay attention. So Pisces being the mutable water sign, mutable means adaptable. And when we think about water as the element, water in its of itself is quite an adaptable element. I mean, think about the way that water can go from gas to liquid to solid, right? Like we have water that can transpirate, that can come off as steam, as a gas, the liquid form, and then you can freeze it and make it a solid with ice. So even just looking at water itself, it's quite adaptable. Pisces is the sign that most closely relates to the adaptability of water itself. So Piscean energy is, yes, emotional, yes, intuitive, yes, dreamy, yes, sensitive. But Pisces energy also has this adaptability to it, this ability to shift and change and evolve with the flowing conditions. And what's really interesting about that strong, evolving, adaptive response that Pisces has, is that it actually increases self-trust. Because if you think about it, when we're met in life with infinite change, which we're always exposed to, because the one thing we can count on is change, as we are constantly met with this ebbs and flows of change, if we know that we have within us the capacity, the capability to shift, evolve, adapt to those changes, it increases our trust in ourself. So with this Pisces energy, we're actually being invited to trust our own evolution, to trust our own adaptability, to trust ourselves a little bit more and trust our own power to co-create, our own power to manifest. And this new moon is powerful for that. So new moons, very often new moons from an energetic perspective are about planting new seeds. They're about new beginnings. And if you're curious about like what it is to work with the energy of the moon, first of all, welcome. Like you're probably new here, so welcome. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to learn a bit more about working with the moon, about understanding the different moon phases, I actually highly recommend you pick up my book, Everyday Plant Magic. Yes, this is a book about plants, but the entire introduction section is all about aligning yourself to the magic of nature. And I do share in here how to work with the energy of the moon. So you can see that in here as well. And then many of the rituals I share in this book can be used for new moons or full moons. In fact, in the back of the book, where is it? Yeah, here we go. In the back of the book on page 151, I share how you can use some of the different rituals in the book for things like new moon manifestation or full moon release, things like that. So looking to work more with the moon and nature itself, I highly recommend you pick up my book, Everyday Plant Magic. You can find it wherever books are sold. And if you like signed copies, you can actually go down into my notes below and you can get a signed copy from my website. So I'll link that below as well. Anyway, going back to this new moon and manifestation abilities. So, new moons, new seeds, new beginnings, powerful for manifestation. We want to work with the energies of new moons for manifestation. And this Pisces energy is extremely intuitive, it's extremely imaginative. And what's great about this Pisces energy and why it's so powerful for manifestation is because Pisces is so good at pairing the magic of the mind through imagination, through like creating a very vivid inner landscape using imagination, using daydreams, using that intuitive ability of visualization, right? And for some of you, maybe not all of us have a very heightened visual inner landscape, but we can still hold a vision or get clear on what we desire through other things. Maybe it's not something we see in our mind like a movie. Maybe it's something we feel or something we hear or something we even taste, but we still have the ability to feel into what it is we are desiring to co-create using the power of the mind in some way or another. Now, Pisces is really good at pairing that power of the mind, the power to dream it up, to believe in it, right? Really pairing that with the physical sensation, the sensitivity of the body. And when it comes to manifestation, we need those two things paired in order to actively co-create. Because when we're manifesting, it's not just getting clear on what we want and then saying, I want that, I want that, I want that, I want that. In fact, if we just stay in that energy of I want that, energetically, we end up pushing things away because we're in the energy of I want it and I don't have it, right? Where manifestation really gets powerful for us is when we are able to recognize how we already possess the energies, the felt sensations, the emotions that we're calling in that manifestation. So let's say you want to manifest a new car, or let's say you want to manifest a new opportunity, like a new work opportunity, a new client, something like that. What you want to hone in on is how do I want to feel when I have that thing? I want to feel successful. I want to feel magnetic. I want to feel seen. I want to feel appreciated. I want to feel helpful. And then, in order to actually manifest what we want, we hone in on where we're actually already feeling those things. How am I already feeling successful? Where am I already feeling magnetic? How am I already feeling that I'm welcoming in something new, right? Like we really lean into the feelings of what it is we're going to attain. And by feeling what we want, already feeling it in the here and now, we then become a magnet for what we want. Now, of course, there's lots of things interconnected. It's not always going to be from A to B to C. Life is more interconnected and complicated than that. And let's not forget that there are larger societal things at play that will have an impact on our ability to co-create. But from a strictly energetic perception, when we are able to create an energetic match from within our own being with what it is we are wanting, what we are desiring to co-create, what we are desiring to attain or achieve, it becomes easier for us to take aligned actions toward that goal, toward that desire. And it becomes easier for us to actually become a magnet that attracts in what we want. Pisces energy has this really beautiful ability to pair that energy, the imagination, the mental side of it with the physical sensation and belief in it. And that's what is so powerful about this particular Pisces new moon is that it really wants us to believe in our ability to co-create. It wants us to spend time really going into what is it we're dreaming for the future, giving ourselves time to actually really daydream about it, to visualize it, to script it out, to get clear on what is the life that I am really wanting to build, create for myself. What is the life? What is the world that I want to be a co-creative part of? What is the world as I envision it could possibly be? And where can I already feel that around me right now? Pisces is fantastic for that. And this particular new moon wants us to get clear on this vision and then to stay in the energy of holding this vision, stay in the energy of maintaining our belief in the ability to co-create this, to manifest this. So it's about believing in ourselves. It's about holding the trust, holding the vision. That is really the theme of this Pisces new moon. And that is where our manifestation magic really lies. How can we envision the life of our dreams? That is the magic of this particular Pisces new moon. Now, we can't talk about Pisces without talking a little bit about the shadow aspects of Pisces as well, because as we all know, wherever there is light, there is also a shadow. And wherever there is dark, there will also be light at some point. Yin and yang, they're part of each other. Anyway, so shadowy aspects of Piscean energy has to do a lot with avoidance and escapism. So using that powerful mental ability to envision and daydream and go into these like dreamy kind of places, we can actually use that to our own detriment when we use that energy to avoid things or to escape the reality of which we currently live in. And listen, friends, the world is a dumpster fire. A little bit of escapism is actually not a bad thing if we don't actually try to escape the full reality. If we give ourselves the ability to, like, for example, for me lately, the last 6 months, I've gotten really into reading nonfiction again. Like for years, I was, sorry, excuse me, reading fiction again. For years, I was only reading like nonfiction, self-help, self-development, nature connection kind of books. And they were great and I loved them. But for the last like 6, 7 months, I have really been going more toward fiction. And there's a number of reasons for that. One, it's fantastic for my imagination, which is great for my clairvoyant gifts. Also, it feels good. Like my body just loves it. And I realize that it allows me to actually feel into infinite possibilities as opposed to staying solely in the nonfiction realm made me feel kind of limited in what was possible for us humans, for this world, for our reality. So there's a little bit of escapism that can be healthy. We want to allow ourselves to enjoy the amazing worlds that humans create in their minds through books and movies and shows like that. We just don't want to get trapped in that. We don't want to get to a place where we feel like that matters more than our actual life, which can happen with Pisces energy. Definitely, we can kind of go into this very escapist kind of energy. Now, that being said, as I mentioned earlier, with Pisces' powerful gifts of vision and daydreaming and envisioning truly, we can utilize that energy. And instead of using it for avoidance and escapism, we can use it for envisioning a different alternate future, a different way forward. And that is a big part of the power of this particular new moon. Now, I want to talk briefly about the difference between creation and control, because I think that's important. And Pisces actually gets this distinction really, really well. Sometimes when we're going into a place of manifestation, when we're going into a place of co-creation, we don't recognize how controlling we can get, how we want to control every little bit of it, how we want to feel like we can make it happen, and that can really bring up a lot of that ego control. Co-creation, the energy of co-creation, co-creating with the universe is very different from the energy of hustling and the energy of control. Pisces understands that difference. Pisces really gets the difference between creating and creativity and giving ourselves, when we're in that creative place, the capacity to flow with the current of life, the flow with the current of the universe, which is very different from the energy of hustling or control, where it actually feels like we are literally paddling upstream, like we are exerting extra effort, sometimes fighting the current to get to where we want to go. Pisces energy is like, I'm not going to fight this current. I'm going to surrender. I'm going to float in this current like it's a lazy river, and I'm going to use this current to my advantage. I'm going to figure out, how can I flow with what is? How can I play with, how can I imagine the energies of what is into some kind of more desired future? So this energy of manifestation that this Pisces new moon brings in is not an energy of controlling. It's actually an energy of accepting and flowing with what is. Pisces is beautiful for that. But if you find yourself going into kind of dreamy places, if you notice that you're kind of staring off the window at times, or if you notice that you find yourself even envisioning what is possible for you. Please surrender into that. Don't try and take yourself out of it. Don't, focus, get back on what I'm doing. Let yourself be with that flow, with that imagination. That is a big part of the manifestation potential of this particular new moon in Pisces. So that's about it. I'm going to keep it nice and short today. Ooh, yes, one other thing. Speaking about the difference between control and co-creation. This Pisces new moon is actually kind of getting us ready for eclipse season, which is basically here. Basically, at the end of this new moon in Pisces, we're pretty much in eclipse season. The next lunation we have is a full moon eclipse. I will talk a lot more about eclipse season as we get closer to that in about 2 weeks' time. We'll talk a lot about it. But what I can share with you all right now is that eclipse season is a time of surrender for us. It's a time for us to let go of control and really surrender into the flow, the current of the universe itself. And this Pisces new moon is kind of opening that door for us already. The Pisces new moon is giving us this really beautiful opportunity to walk into eclipse season, holding on to the energy, the vibration of our vision, but allowing us to surrender into what is, which is what we need to do for eclipse season as we move from eclipse season out of it in about a month and a half's time. So I'll be talking a lot more about that during eclipse season and the lunations we have during that time. But please know that this Pisces new moon is actually a little bit of an initiation into eclipse energy. And that initiation into eclipse energy is really the distinction between co-creation and control. Co-creation and control. That is a really beautiful initiation for all of us as we move into eclipse season as well. So if you're looking for any more information about the Pisces new moon, you can head to my moon blog. I will link it in the comments below. I will also link, link the, sorry, my thoughts just completely left my head. I will also link to my book, Everyday Plant Magic, that you can see on my website as well. I'll link to where you can get a signed copy. And I also want to share with you all, pre-orders are now open for my newest book, Self-Care for Eco-Anxiety. This launches right after a new moon eclipse, April 9th. I'll be sharing more about all of that with you as well. But if you head to my website, you will be prompted to pre-order, so you can take a look at that as well. Thank you all so much for being here. Please, if you love working with the moon, if you love this kind of content, please subscribe, like, and share. And thank you all so much for being here. All right, I'll see you in a few weeks' time for our next full moon. Bye, friends.